The kingdom of Murtana, united by King Robar II. During the long years of his reign, he was able to defeat all foes of his realm. All except one. The war against the orcs took its toll, and the prisoners of the realm were to pay the price. The king needed swords for his army, and every man guilty of a crime, no matter how insignificant, was forced to work in the ore mines of Khorinis. To make it impossible for them to escape, the king sent out the best magicians of the kingdom to create a magic barrier around the entire valley. I was one of them. Something disturbed the delicate structure of magic. We were trapped inside our own barrier. 1 second of negligence was enough for the prisoners. Khorinis was now under the control of the convicts. The king had no choice. He had to negotiate. He needed the ore. Month after month, the king supplied everything the prisoners needed. Month after month, they brought the ore to the edge of the barrier in exchange. Until the present day. Another convict was brought to the cliff. He did not know, but he would change everything.
In the name of King Robar II, bearer of the scepter of Verant, I sentence this convict to...
Stop! Convict, I've got an offer to make you. This letter must reach the leader of the Magicians of Fire.
You're wasting your time.
You may choose your own reward. They'll give you anything you ask for.
Very well, I'll take your letter. On one condition. Spare me the rest of his nonsense.
How dare you!
Keep silent. Right, send him in.
Welcome to the colony.
That's enough. Leave him alone. And now scram! Get up. I'm Diego. I'm not interested in who you are. You've just arrived. I look after the new arrivals. That's all for now. If you plan to stay alive for a while, you should talk to me. But of course, I won't keep you from choosing your own destruction. Well, what do you think?
Okay, what do I need to know about this place?
We call it the colony. You'll know already that we produce ore for the king. Well, at least we do, in the old camp. There are 3 camps within the barrier. The old camp is the biggest, and it was the first.
How do I get to the old camp?
You just follow this path. The old camp is the next reasonably safe-looking place you'll come across. There are a lot of wild beasts between the camps. You'd be mad to walk around without a weapon.
Where do I get a weapon?
When you get to the old mine, have a look around. I'm sure you'll find something useful. The mine is easy to find. It's just a few meters along the canyon.
Why did you help me?
Because you needed help. Otherwise, Bullet and his boys might have killed you. And I couldn't just stand by and watch. because I came all this way to make a suggestion.
A suggestion?
Yes. After this little incident with Bullet in his guise, you should be aware now that you need protection. Everyone who arrives here has a choice. There are 3 camps in the colony, and you'll have to join one of them. I'm here to show the new ones that the old camp is the best place for them.
Where's Bullet now?
He and the others bring the goods from the outside world into the camp. You'll find him there. But if you plan to fight him, be careful. He's an experienced warrior.
I have a letter for the High Magician of the Circle of Fire.
Really?
I was given it by a mage shortly before they threw me in here.
You're lucky I can't afford to show my face around the mages anymore. Anyone else would gladly slit your throat for that letter. That's because the mages pay their couriers a lot, and most people here don't have anything. If I were you, I'd shut up until I met one of the mages. Although in your situation, that's not likely to happen.
Why not?
The mages are in the castle in the old camp. Only Gomez's people are allowed to enter the castle.
Who's Gomez?
Gomez is the most powerful ore baron. He's the boss of the old camp, the most powerful man in the colony.
Let's assume I want to join his people. What do I need to do?
At the gate of the castle, you'll find a man called Thoris. Tell him Diego sent you.
Thanks for your help.
We'll meet in the old camp.
What are you doing here?
Making sure no one gets near the exchange place, especially one of those cutthroats from the new camp. You're the new guy they chucked in today, right?
That's me.
Then you'd better watch out for the guys from the new camp. I work for the old camp, same as the others you saw at the exchange place. I assume you've talked to Diego.
Yes, I have.
Good. Then you know what's what around here. You'd better make sure you reach the old camp in one piece.
How's it going?
Good. None of the rogues from the new camp are to be seen anywhere.
have to watch.
I thought that had been cleared up ages ago.
There.
Hey, you.
What do you want?
I want to warn you. If you continue this way, you'll be entering our hunting ground.
What do you hunt?
Mostly scavengers. There's a lot of meat on them. Besides, it ain't too hard to get them, once you know how.
Really? How's that?
Ask my friend Drax here. He knows more about these things than anyone.
Why is this area so dangerous?
You've just arrived, haven't you? There are different areas in this colony which are all more or less dangerous. The paths between the camps are quite safe, but even there you might come across some wolves which look on you as easy prey. And that's exactly what you are until you get a proper weapon and armor.
Where can I get better equipment?
The nearest place is that old camp. Just follow the path that brought you here. But you can get the stuff cheaper in our new camp, provided you know the right people. If you go to the old camp, ask for Mordrag. He's one of us. For just a little ore, he'll sell you the proper goods.
Tell me more about the areas of the colony.
If you travel between the camps, you'll need a map to distinguish paths and dead ends. Dead ends often lead you to dangerous canyons where you encounter creatures you'd better avoid. Do not enter the old ruins. There are too many around here, and most of them are old fortifications dating back to the time of the First Orc War. Some are abandoned orc dwellings. There are often orcs in those ruins, or even worse creatures. I'd avoid those places, especially at night. And one more hint, don't go into the forest.
Where do I get a map?
Ask the people in the old camp. There's a cartographer living there. Maybe you can steal one of his maps. If you manage to do it, take one from me as well.
Why? Doesn't he sell the maps?
If you get enough ore to pay for them.
Thanks for your help.
Don't go thinking everyone's gonna be so friendly, kid. There may not be much in a newcomer's pockets, but some folks would even beat you up for a pickaxe.
I'll keep it in mind. You're hunting, aren't you?
Looks like it. What do you want?
Do you have some hints for the hunt?
I could teach you a few things, but everything has its price.
Which would be how much?
A good gulp of beer will do to start with. Then we'll see.
Here you are. Take a beer and tell me about hunting.
Scavengers. That's what we call the big birds. Should be attacked one after the other. It's easy to lure single scavengers from the pack. If you come too close, they'll become irritated. After a while, they'll storm in your direction. At this point, you should be waiting for them with a raised weapon. If you manage to strike the beast before it hits you, you have to keep fighting. Then you'll be able to defeat the creature without being hurt yourself. If it hits you first, well, just don't let him.
What else can you tell me about hunting?
A lot, but it'll cost you more than a beer. If you know how, you can take the creature's teeth, claws, and skin. It's hard to get them, but they are valuable. At least every merchant will trade those things with you.
You're demanding a lot for your advice.
Possibly, but you can earn a lot of ore with this knowledge. All the animals you kill without knowing how to cut them up will just rot away. That's a wasted opportunity of skinning them and selling the fur at a high price. If I were you, I'd try to gain this knowledge as soon as possible.
What are you doing here?
What's it look like? Regarding the bridge, of course. We make sure that no beasts cross the bridge.
Have you got any advice for me?
Yeah, don't go in the forest on your own, unless you're strong enough to fight off all the beasts. Make sure you get to the old camp. They're holding a pickaxe for you. Hee.
Where do you think you're going?
To the camp.
You ain't come to make trouble, have you?
Diego says I'm to meet him in the camp.
Okay, in you go then.
Any news?
Nah, everything's the same as ever.
You shouldn't believe everything.
I am new here.
Just arrived, have you? I'm Grim. I haven't been here for long either. I was thrown in with the load before you.
What's life like here?
Easy going. As long as you pay your share of protection money to the guards.
What do I have to do if I want to get admitted to this camp?
Well, first of all, you have to become a shadow. Therefore, you have to find somebody who supports you, somebody who explains everything to you and takes responsibility for you. If I was you, I'd try to keep close to Diego. I did it like that. He's quite all right. He'll make you take the test of faith. That's different from everybody. Then there'll be some other smaller tasks from other shadows. If you manage them, you'll be with us.
What was your test of faith?
I can't tell you, man. You have to be silent about things like that here. That wasn't very clever.
There must be something about that story.
Tell me something about the old camp.
It's the biggest and most powerful of the three camps. Gomez and his guys control the camp and thereby the whole ore trade. Once a month, the king sends us everything we need. We've got the old guy in our grip, you understand? He sends us wine, bread, meat, weapons, everything. You can also get some of it. All you have to do is join Gomez's people.
What about the two other camps?
The two other camps split up to pursue their crazy escape plans. There's the new camp in the west of the colony, where the mages think they can just detonate the barrier as soon as they've scraped enough ore together. And then there's the sect loonies in the east. Their camp is in the middle of the swamp, and they're praying to their idol to set them free. He hasn't responded so far. If I were you, I wouldn't waste my time on those madcaps.
Tell me more about the barrier.
There isn't much to tell. It's impenetrable.
What happens if I just walk out of here?
The last one who tried that reached the other side a dead man. This damn barrier lets you in, but you'll never get out of here.
If there's a way out, I'll find it.
You're already in a rush to get out of here? But you've only just arrived.
Take care. You don't look as though you'd just let anyone get into the castle.
Only Gomez's men are allowed in the castle.
If I gave you a certain amount of ore, would you let me in the castle?
For a certain amount.
How much?
Well, it'd have to take a while to count the ore. Long enough to make sure me and my boys are busy counting while you slip by.
So tell me, how much?
1,000 nuggets should be enough.
1,000 nuggets?
Well, you could join up with Gomez. That'd get you in the castle for free.
I want to work for Gomez.
Oh, yeah? And what makes you think Gomez will be interested in having you work for him?
Diego says you decide who Gomez is interested in.
Huh? If Diego thinks you're okay, why doesn't he take care of you? Look, let me explain. Diego's gonna test you. If he thinks you're good enough, I'll let you into the castle to see Gomez. Whatever happens after that is up to you, okay?
I'll talk to Diego. Why don't you give me the test?
It ain't that easy, kid. Any newcomer who wants to get anywhere needs a patron. That patron has to be one of Gomez's people. He'll test you, and if you fail, you're his responsibility. That's the law around here.
There must be something you want done.
No. The things we guards deal with are a bit above you, kid. You just stick to the tasks your patron sets for you.
I'm quite capable of doing anything you tell me to.
Oh, so you're intent on failing, eh? There is one thing that only someone who's not with Gomez can see to. But I'm warning you, you blow this and you'll be in mighty big trouble.
I'm ready for your task.
What I'm about to tell you is between you and me, and nobody else must ever hear about it. Understood?
Sure.
We have a problem with a guy from the new camp. His name's Mordrag. He's been stealing from the ore barons. Of course, that applies to a lot of the rogues in the new camp. But this guy has the nerve to come to our camp and sell our stolen goods to our boys. He's gone too far. But he knows I can't do anything about it.
Why?
Because he's under the protection of the mages.
Sounds to me like the mages are your problem.
Yeah, but they're a problem that's hard to solve. A few years back, one of the shadows tried to stab the High Magician of the Circle of Fire while he was sleeping. They found him later in the Outer Ring. In fact, he was scattered all over the Outer Ring.
Why do the mages protect that Mordrag?
Because they use him as a gopher. Our local mages are in contact with the mages over in the new camp. They often send gophers back and forth. They're likely to become very unpleasant if I throw one of their gophers out of the camp or have him killed.
What about me? What do you think the mages will do to me?
You're new here. You'll be okay. But I'm responsible for what my boys do. That's why it's vital that you keep your mouth shut.
Where can I find Mordrag?
You'll find him at the south gate on the other side of the castle, just beyond the entrance. The bastard wouldn't dare come any further into the camp.
I'll take care of it. I've talked to Thoris.
And what did he say?
He says that I can join the old camp if you think that I'm good enough.
Looks like I have myself a new job.
Do we start right now?
First, there are a few things you should know.
What do I have to know to be accepted in the old camp?
If you want to join the camp, you'll have to earn some brownie points. There are a few influential people in the outer ring. Most of them are shadows. If you manage to impress them, it'll earn you a few brownie points. Then you'll have to stand the test of faith. Besides, there are a lot of skills every new arrival has to learn. The more you learn, the more valuable you'll be for us.
Where do I find the important people?
Well, you're looking at one of them. Then there's Thoris. You already know him. As for the others, you'll have to find that out by yourself. If you don't manage to do that, you don't belong here anyway. Just go through the outer ring and talk to people. Then you'll find out who's important.
Who can teach me?
Start with Fingers. He's the most skillful among us. If you keep your eyes peeled, you'll find other people who can teach you.
Where can I find Fingers?
His hut's kind of hidden. It's next to the castle wall. Just start out here and go towards the arena. When you're at the castle gate, go down to the left and you'll be heading for the arena.
What's the test of faith?
You have to go to the old mine. There you'll meet a guy called Ian. He'll give you a list. This list is important. It contains all the items the guys in the mine need from us. They'll get the stuff with the next convoy.
No problem.
Yes, there is a problem. The new camp must not get that list. Like I said, the list is important. If you do it right, you'll get much further.
If the list is so important, why should Ian give it to me?
Because you're going to tell him Diego sent you.
I'll tell him. Where can I find the old mine?
Go to Graham. He's a cartographer. Tell him that I sent you and that you need a map. It'll show you the way to the mine. He lives to the left of the north gate.
Can you teach me something?
Yes, I can teach you to improve your dexterity or your strength. Come back soon. There are many things you need to learn.
What about my esteem within the camp?
I've talked to a few people.
And?
The business with Mordrag is really quite a job. He's not bad as a warrior. You should exercise if you really want to defeat him. Get on with it. There are still many things to do if you want to get anywhere here in the camp.
Take care.